Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me. Before we get started today, the housekeeping notes, all the product I used and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you'd like to purchase anything. There is my email address if you have any questions. There's a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to YouTube to help me grow in YouTube world. Today, I'm introducing you to a new stamp set that is coming out on July 6th as an online exclusive. We were able to order two sets. We were able to order this one, which is called One Horse Open Sleigh. And we are also able to order the Timeless Charm Bundle, which I did not purchase. Now, there's going to be other products coming out on July 6th. I don't know what they are. I'm waiting like the rest of you. So, in the meantime, we're going to play a little Christmas time and see what we come up with. So I thought I'd show you the stamp set, the dies, and the embellishments. And then we make a few cards. And so the suite consists of the stamp set and the dies. And I've already taken mine apart. I do want to show you this horse and sleigh. We're not using him today, but that is a 6x6 piece of paper. He takes up the full front of this. Now, a standard size, but it is very beautiful stamped, and you'll have to turn in on Wednesday to see what I do with that sleigh and buggy, because I'm going to be doing something with that on Wednesday. But today we're just getting used to what the set consists of. So there is dies to cut everything out except for the verses, and there's one for the sleigh. There's a standalone tree. There is some things you can make extra runners for your sleigh. There's one for the bunny, and these are some snow drifts here. So lots of different things you can do and decorate up this sleigh, and this is a piece to go on the sleigh as well. So that's the stamps and dies. It also comes, oh, let me get this closed. It also comes with these snowflake embellishments, which are very pretty. What are they called? Adhesive-Backed Snowflake Assortment. They come in gold, copper, and white, and the 3 sizes. Let's see if I can get this glare here. So there's white, gold, and copper. This is the large. You can see I've used a couple. And then this one, I'll switch on the back here. We have the small and the medium in the same. We'll use a couple of those today as well. And then it comes with the paper. Now the paper, this is amazing paper, and this is what we're going to focus on today, is this paper. There is 4 sheets of each, 48 sheets in here. I'll read off. It's called One Horse Open Sleigh. And each of these pictures are just amazing. The back sides are quite neutral, so you could use them for just about anything. But look at this house. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I could try to zoom this in just a little bit. So you guys can see this paper a little better. There. And this is, look at that fox. Isn't he cute? And all the trees behind it. And this has got a brown like a wood grain. This is another one. I think it's beautiful paper. This one I love. Then there's the cute deer. And the adorable. I haven't used the deer one yet. I'll have to make a point of using him soon. This one is beautiful. This one I think is amazing. You're looking down in the forest through the birch trees. Or aspen. Whichever you want. They could be aspen trees. They could be birch trees. This one's actually gorgeous too. Little A-frame type cottage. I'm out in the Rockies or the Cascades, wherever you live. This one's so beautiful. It's just, like I said, it's just gorgeous paper. You can use this for all kinds of things. And this one has trees on the back, and then just more neutrals. So the colors in this paper are, just if anybody's interested, black, boho blue, Cajun craze, crumb cake, early espresso, lemon lolly, lost lagoon, misty moonlight, mossy meadow, old olive, pebble path, pecan pie, petal pink, pool party, real red, and wild wheat. A lot. And there's colors not listed here. You could actually print with this set and it would work. So let me show you what we're making today. I decided we're going to focus on the paper. And we're going to make 3 cards. And I'm going to only show you one at a time. The first one, and I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you can see the Wink Stella on here or not. I've got Wink Stella in all the yellow for all the windows. They're hard to see. Wink Stella is very hard to see. And I did splatter Wink Stella across it as well. It's a very simple little card. And I've stamped joyful. I've stamped nothing on the front. All I've added to the front is some Wink Stella. So let's move this back out so I'm not... But I don't think you can see the Wink Stella. Trust me, the Wink Stella is there. So, like I said, these are pretty easy cards. But I want to show you how I cut the paper. Because when you look at this paper, you've got the full piece here. So we'll bring it out. So here's my full piece of paper. And here's the scene I wanted. You have to determine what part of the picture you want in your card. Unless you're making a 6x6 card, then you just trim a little bit off for a border if you wanted a border. But most of us don't make 6x6 cards. So you have to decide what you want to cut off that card. And so what I did is I looked at this and did some measuring with my ruler and figured it out. So I decided we're going to go ahead and just cut the DSP on the air today so you can see exactly what I did. So what I did first is I measured the top and the bottom because I really wanted to focus on this. I wanted to get this light in here. I wanted to get some of the smoke in it. Those were my 2 focuses, this house and this piece here. So I looked at it and then I decided that I would just go ahead and take, after looking at the measurements, I would just take 1 inch off the top and bottom. I'm just rotating around here so it's easy. So that took me to the 4 inches I needed for the card. This is all great stuff to use, so don't get rid of it. But it's still too wide. So I had to decide, do I want to take it off from this side or this? I decided to take it off from this side. And we need this to be 5 1/4, so we only need to cut off 3/4 of an inch. But I didn't waste this 3/4 because this 3/4 is now going to be the inside panel of my card. So I just thought I'd show you how I cut these pages. Like I said, we're doing 3. So this is a piece of Night of Navy. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have our envelope, and we have a piece of basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. Pretty basic things here. Let me use my bone folder really quick because I had not done that yet. And I am going to stamp a simple verse on the inside, which says, wishing you a season of cheer. And I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy. And this is photopolymer, so I would highly recommend, I'm going to grab my stamp and scrub 2 at the same time, using a mat. And I'm going to grab that little piece we cut off. Decide what side you want it on. I want mine on this side because I want to, I'm not gluing it down. Make sure I just seen a spot that did not have ink on it. And then I'm going to center that so it's centered with this piece in it. And then I have the little stamp that says joyful. And I'm going to stamp that on the front of my envelope. Like I said, I was keeping these cards very simple today. I'm going to showcase the paper. We're using a little bit of the stamps and none of the dies. So I'm just cleaning that off real quick. So there's our envelope. We're going to go ahead and glue this down. I don't need a mat. But There's also another reason I'm keeping these very simple today. So I'm filming on Saturday. All of my videos for this week will be filmed on Saturday before 4th of July. I'm at home, but we are having some renovations done in the house, and so the house is extremely noisy during the week. And I just trimmed off a little bit there. I was hanging over just a tad. So I've decided that I need to film on Saturday. And I tried to design during the week, but have you guys ever had to figure out and do when there's drilling and hammering and grinding and when they're taking apart a house around you? It's hard. I didn't think it would be that difficult. It's hard to concentrate. So this week's cards are simple, but I think they're beautiful. Matter of fact, I've almost decided I'm going to get me, we can only get 2 of these packs of paper, and I only got 1. Because when you looked at the flyer, this is what you've seen in the flyer. It does not show you how beautiful this paper is. Now that I see how beautiful this paper is, I'm getting some more for easy Christmas cards. Because I do make a lot of Christmas cards. And plus I like the back side as well. So I'm just putting our little mat on here. Nothing on the front of it, except we're going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to put a little Wink of Stella where all the yellow is. If it goes over the other, it won't hurt anything. So the person who receives it will get a little bling out of that. And that is our first card. Like I said, I was keeping it very, very simple. But I don't know about you. If someone sent me that card, I'd be very happy to receive it. So that was card number 1. Card number 2 is just as easy. A little bit different. This is card number 2. Same verse inside, different paper. Cut a little differently. Not much different. And I've done a little stamping on this one. And I don't know if you can actually see some of the darker Wink of Stella. So I went real heavy with the splattering of the Wink of Stella on this one. So we have our pieces. That's our full sheet of paper. This time we're doing a little side fold. This is 11 by 4 1/4. And envelope and our standard 5 1/4 by 4. All the dimensions will be listed as we've done in the past. I always do. Sorry, I'm just a little voicey here. Now this one, I actually cut exactly the same because I started looking at it and I could have changed it, but it worked. So we went for the same dimensions on this one. We cut off 1 inch. Like I said, we've got some pretty paper here to use. And 1 inch on this side. And then this one was where I did this different. I decided I don't want to leave the small standard tree, so I took my piece off this side on this one. So you need to look at the paper and decide what you want to center and focus on in your card. So there's our pieces for this one. Let's grab our stamping mat again. Because we have several things to stamp on this one. And this one we're using Old Olive. And this one we are going to stamp Joyful. I'm going to grab this. We're going to stamp right on our DSP. So if this is a new stamp set and you had not used this stamp, before you attack and stamp on your DSP, make sure you've tested it and you know, sometimes there's a little film or something on them, not very often, but every once in a while. So always give a new stamp a test, but especially if you're going to stamp directly on your DSP. In this open area down here, I'm going to stamp Joyful, just like that. Blends right in and matches the trees. I'm also going to use Joyful on my envelope again, because it worked. And the inside, we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to use the same verse. I'm going to put this over here as my placeholder. I could glue it down, but then if I made a mistake. I couldn't flip the paper over very easy. And you all know why I make mistakes. Just like that. So we'll clean this up. Do a quick cleanup here before we move on. And we'll start gluing. Like I said, you could take this pack of paper and you could whip out a lot of cards. And being this DSP, our cutter will cut at least 3 sheets, sometimes 4, depending if it's a new blade or not. I did, this is off just a little bit again. That's okay. So you could cut out a whole bunch of these very quickly. Pick out different base colors from the paper. And, you know, you have 48 sheets of paper, so you could easily make 48 cards with 1 pack of paper. And just mass produce them. And this one's going to go on the front. Like I said, this one was also quick, but effective. That's what we want. Something that's easy for Christmas, beautiful and effective. So the last thing we're going to do is add some Wink of Stella. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. You can tell I've been practicing. I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to make sure my chamber has, if you push on the little push button here, this one should take but a second because it's a brand new Wink of Stella. My other one died. Make sure you got enough stuff in your chamber. I usually use my bone folder. I'm going to set this right on here a little bit. I'll hold this up. You should be able to see some of these. They're pretty good sparkles on some of them. Okay. But use your bone folder. It's probably the easiest way to do it. You can see them on here on the white. But if you look at this, I think you can see some of them. They're still wet. You can see them down here and some up here. But you can see little sparkles. But your person who receives this in the mail will definitely see the sparkle. Always put something down, though. Or you'll have sparkle all over your desk, which I do. I didn't put in a big enough piece of paper. So that's card number 2. Card number 3. He's hiding. My little fox is bashful. This is card number 3. We're doing them a little bit different. Using different paper, we're cutting it horizontally. So this is copper clay. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's going to be a basic side fold card. Oop. The inside is 4 by 5 1/4. Our envelope. And then we have our box. Like I said, he's a pretty easy card. So I know the inside of our card is going to be with the same verse. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that. Well, yeah, let's cut first, then we'll stamp. Because I need to stamp on this fox as well. So the fox one, we are going to be, I want this to be, it needs to be 5 1/4 high. So we are cutting off 3/4 off the top of this. I want some ground under my fox. So this seemed like the most logical cut for me. And then we are going to cut off 2 inches to make this 4 inches. Just like that. And that is the size we need. Like I said, all the dimensions will be in there. I will actually put in there what I cut off, so it's easier for you. So this one, I wanted to have another stamp on here. The verses in this set: wishing is, excuse me, wishing you a season of cheer. And then you could add, and a Happy New Year, or you can just take that out and put Happy New Year. Sending warmth your way and joyful. I wanted something else in this. So I grabbed a holdover from last Christmas, what I really love, Regal Reindeer, because I wanted peace on earth for the front of my card. So I grabbed peace on earth, and we're going to go ahead and stamp him first. And this big open area here is where I'm putting that. And once again, if it's a new stamp, make sure you've stamped it on something else, just so you have a feel for the stamp and what it does, and that there's nothing on it. So don't need to close that. So that's that part. On the inside, get my paper out of the way, we are going to stamp the same verses we did on the others. I like it. Right in the center on the top. That's copper clay. And then we're going to use the bunny, or hare. I'm calling him a bunny. And I'm going to stamp him down in the corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a bunny on the front. And you could change and use different colors. You could use black and then color the bunny in. Like I said, I was just keeping these one color per card, keeping the cards really simple and easy. So this one, where's my glue? I lost it for a moment. It's also the holiday, and I know your time is very valuable right now. So if you have some time, or if it's just too hot outside and you want to be inside and have some peace and quiet, and you don't have to use this particular set to do this kind of card. Look at your DSP you have. We've had other DSP. They're beautiful scenes. But you have to wait for July 6th for this one. So come July 6th, I would get your order in if you really want this set and the paper, because I think it will go very quickly. I'm placing another order on July 6th. Plus, I know there's more Christmas stuff in there, but they wouldn't let us see it. They do keep us in suspense sometimes too. So I've just added a little fox in there. And on this one, I believe I added a little wink of Stella to the fox to make him shiny and stand out a little bit for my person or persons who receive this. Ooh! Except that he's going to be very shiny. Every once in a while, if you get too much wink of Stella going, you'll get a lot of glitter. But he'll dry. He'll be fine. He will be fine. He will just be a very shiny fox. So on this one, I decided to go ahead and use some of the snowflakes. And I used one of each of these nice copper. Now, I should tell you, the snowflakes, you see what I just did? They are on it like a glue dot. And I would use a pick tool or something to pick them up. If you try to lift them off, you'll pop them off just like I just did. So we'll put a big one right about there. And someone forgot to tell somebody that snowflakes are 6-sided, not 5. I'll have to send a note to the design team and say, guys, but you know, we can have anything on our card we want. So we'll add 3 snowflakes to that one. We'll bling him up a little bit. He's really blinged up, his tail is. But he's still pretty. He's just really sparkly. You can see that one. So just be careful. Sometimes they do that. And it's because I had filled the reservoir. So I will take and actually, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Since I know it's got too much ink in there right now, I'm just going to take a towel and gently wipe some of that off the end of this. And I will make sure not to squeeze this anymore, because if you squeeze it too much, you'll get more, you know, for a while anyhow, till I need it. So it does happen occasionally. Won't hurt anything. So there's our cards today. Like I said, 3 very simple cards. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a wonderful 4th, and I will see you on Wednesday the 5th. And then on Thursday the 6th, we can all go shopping online. So I'll see you. Have a wonderful 4th. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.